Hey everyone, Steve Monette here with another video in my Bible Prophecy Bites series, where we look at Bible scripture, history, and current events that all point to the soon return of Jesus the Messiah. Okay, so for today's video, let's briefly talk about the River Euphrates. And as you know, the Bible tells us that the River Euphrates is going to play a major role in end times Bible prophecy. And we can find that in Revelation chapters 9 and 16. Interestingly, the Muslim religion also believes that the river Euphrates is going to play a role in end times prophecy as well. More specifically, they believe that the Prophet Muhammad actually had a vision that showed the river Euphrates will indeed dry up and will reveal a very large pile of gold. And this will only happen in the end of days. So essentially what we have is two religions that believe the river Euphrates will dry up at the end of days. And guess what? We now have reports coming out of the Middle East that the river Euphrates is indeed drying up. Watch this report.
Syria's longest river has receded, parching trees and leaving families of local farmers without water to drink. Aid groups and engineers have warned of a looming humanitarian disaster in northeast Syria. Plummeting water levels at hydroelectric dams have led to power cuts for up to 5 million Syrians since January. This comes in the middle of a pandemic and economic crisis. The Euphrates runs for almost 2,800 kilometers across Turkey, Syria and Iraq. It irrigates swathes of land in Syria and runs through 3 hydroelectric dams that provide power and drinking water to millions. However, over the past 8 months, the river has contracted and increasing the risk of dam turbines grinding to a halt. Experts say that there is an alarming drop in water levels, which has not been witnessed since the dam's completion in 1999. Since January, the water level has plummeted by 5 meters. It hovers just dozens of centimeters above the so-called dead level. Experts say that power generation has already fallen by 70% since last year across northeast Syria. 2 out of 3 of all portable water stations along the river are pumping less water or have stopped working. Almost 90% of the Euphrates flow comes from Turkey. Syria's Kurds have accused Ankara of holding back more water than necessary in its dams. In June, Damascus urged Turkey to increase the flow immediately. Fresh water supply from the station on another river has been disrupted at least 24 times since 2019. This has affected 400,000, 60,000 people. A UN climate change report released this month found human influence had almost definitely increased the frequency of simultaneous heat waves and droughts worldwide. According to the 2019 Global Crisis Risk Index, dry spells are to become longer and more severe around the Mediterranean, with Syria most at risk.
Okay, so there you have it. We now have reports that the river Euphrates is indeed drying up in both Syria and Iraq. Water levels are 15 feet below normal. Hydroelectric dams are nearing shutdown. Crops are taking a huge hit. Rain levels are also down significantly. And of course, climate change is a major factor. Never miss an opportunity to blame something on climate change. But as you know, the river Euphrates flows through 4 Middle Eastern countries, and it all starts in Turkey and flows south through Iran, Iraq, and Syria. And guess what? All 4 of those countries are mentioned in Ezekiel 38 and 39. And of course, we know that Revelation 9:6 talks of 4 angels that are released from the river Euphrates. And we read in Revelation 16:12 that the river Euphrates will dry up before the battle of Armageddon. So I like to ask this question a lot in my videos. Is this just a coincidence, or is this Bible prophecy coming to pass right in front of our eyes? And I love to ask this question because people that study end times prophecy have a very strong tendency to ignore or even challenge the historical facts and current events for that matter, because said historical evidence or current events do not fit into their perceived eschatological timeline. You know, I really wish that we could get rid of these man-made timelines and let the factual evidence and scripture speak for itself. You know, we can't just discount what's happening in front of our eyes because it doesn't fit into the futuristic timeline. Nor can we just ignore or cover our eyes to historical evidence because it doesn't fit into our futuristic timeline. We must consider all historical evidence and current events without any perceived timeline. That's the only way we can do it and come up with the correct way of interpreting Bible prophecy. We cannot stick to one methodology alone, okay? Let the evidence lead you and not man's timeline, okay? All right, guys, until next video, keep looking up, for our redemption draws near. Thanks for watching.